I'll tell you, there are a lot of people who look up 2 or 3 articles on product led growth, who then listen to a couple of podcasts on product led growth. And then they come up with, like, okay, I have this awesome framework, right? Like, I'm going to do this, this is going to be our CAC. This is how we're going to acquire customers. This is how we're going to measure retention. These are our long term metrics. This is our North Star, etc., etc. I will tell you that, like, it's fair to say pretty much every company, every team that is building a product and wants to sort of do it in a product led way, they all know about this stuff. They know about these metrics, they know about these approaches, etc., etc. And yet, most of these companies fail. Like, I advise some companies, and like, they have amazing dashboards, they have amazing metrics. And so my observation is, it's not because of a lack of metrics or a lack of understanding of what the right perfect metric is why they are struggling. And this is something I best understood when I was at Stripe. At Stripe, I worked on a number of products, most of them very early stage, and then grew them significantly over the years, to the point that, many of them are like, some of Stripe's most successful businesses. And there was this time when we were at a product review, and we were sharing something with Patrick and John and a few others about our plans for a new product. And I remember this specific moment where the PM on my team was presenting the plans and what we are planning on doing, etc., etc. And then Patrick asked this one question. And the question was, have you talked to customers who tried signing up for the product but then did not engage? And what have you learned from that? And that, for me, was a pretty pivotal moment in my understanding of what product led growth is and how to do product led growth successfully in early stage. I mean, it's a simple question. So why did it have such a huge impact on my thinking? Well, the reason is that, like, whenever we talk about all this product led growth metrics, this, that, like, we never account for this question. But if you think about what product led growth is, this is the fundamental question. If you want to take something from early stage and make it grow like crazy, using this product led approach, what you really deeply need to understand, the data you need to have, is you have this user who has taken some effort. So I'm not talking about the user that just bounced off your website. Forget them for a second. I'm talking about a user who reached your website somehow. They saw what your product had to offer. They went through the trouble of signing up for it. They even perhaps went through the trouble of performing some critical actions. You want to identify a certain threshold within your product where you say that any user that has crossed this early threshold has shown sufficient intent and motivation to use my product. And you can decide what that is. Use your judgment, whether it's they signed up or whether it's they signed up and they performed 2 or 3 core actions, like they created a table. Like, say, if it's Airtable, right? Like, they created a base and then they, populated it and they shared it with one person within their organization. Whatever it is, you decide, right? They performed some actions that shows intent, but then nothing happened. Have you talked to enough of those people to understand what was their motivation, what was their expectation from the product, what was their experience, and what were the objections and the friction points and the fears that led to not engage any further than that? Because if you can understand that, then you are on a path of success. And that is the only way, really, that you are going to be on the path of success in product led growth. And once you understand that, and then you can kind of translate that understanding to the right product surface area, to the right kind of marketing message, to the right kind of pricing, to figure out, oh, should we do freemium or should we do just free completely? And at what point do you hit them with the pricing wall, right? Like, there are all these considerations you need to make. These are all important considerations. But what are you basing these considerations on? You cannot base it on, oh, this worked for some other product, so I'm going to try it. You need to understand your users, your product, your context better. So that's the data I want you to fixate on at the early stage. It's not all like, oh, like, everybody has charts. Okay. I don't give a damn about charts. Everybody has charts. The problem is not that you don't have the right chart. The problem is you don't understand the user well enough. You don't understand what it is going to take to make it easy for the user to say yes. And if you cannot understand that, I'm sorry, you can have the perfect metric, you can have the perfect dashboards, the perfect charts. It's not going to work for you.